Hey, it's Eric Soto from SotoTarot.com on this lovely network, A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. Again, on a fabulous Thursday. A lot to cover today, but I will get the callers. I promise. This is something that I like to share that's been boggling my mind all week. And when it becomes that and it interests me and it has to do with intuition or it has to do with precognition or even science mixed in there, it just blows my mind. So I saw on Facebook somewhere, I don't know who, and it was more of a YouTube thing, but it had an old 1993 ad. Now, if you're from me in the 50s, I'm in the 50s. I grew up in the 80s and 70s, and around that time, technology was exploding. And I remember these ads like they were yesterday. And the ads that came out, now that I look at them now, there's a correlation there that I want to some of you youngers that you don't realize you grew up with smartphones. My kids are growing up with smartphones, with a computer. I had a Commodore 64. That thing was a brick. I had an Atari 2600 and Pong. If you don't even know what these things are, then bless you. But if you do, then you're from my tribe and you understand the struggle we went through. But these ads, I won't even say who it was, but it was like technology ads. And I'm going to read some of these because I get to try my radio voice out. But these were the ads that they were talking about back in the 90s when computers and internet was still new. Windows was not even a thing really. And some of these here were like, have you ever borrowed a book from 1,000 miles away? I'm like, and they showed a book on the screen. This person sitting, an actual book, like a video of a book open somewhere 1,000 miles away, right? They also had something here where, have you ever traveled the country without stopping to ask directions? And they showed a very primitive version of our GPS system, right? Same thing with the book. They showed the book, and now we have digital books that you can get from Amazon and everywhere else, Google. There's some in the library that are free, even digitally, that you can use, which is ridiculous how much knowledge you can get for free. All on the digital, though. Also, have you ever paid a toll without slowing down? I don't know if I'm from Illinois originally, and we've got pay tolls. We had tremendous amount of tolls there, still do. But these easy passes and things that you go through now, you don't even have to do anything. There's a little transponder, you go through and it's done. But they were showing this antiquated like box sitting in where their dash is, and they're swiping a credit card as they're driving through the toll. There's a method to my madness here, and I will take the caller here in a minute here, but it's interesting because some of this here, and I'll just skip a couple that we're interested. You can watch. Have you ever watched a movie at the time you wanted to? Any movie at the exact time you wanted to? That's our digital downloading right now. I mean, we're spoiled with all these services that we have, but we have instant access to our phones, to our smart tablets, to our computers, and on and on and on. The biggest one that was great is like they had this lady at a phone booth, and there's like, have you ever tucked your baby in at night through your phone booth? And it shows a little tiny screen and with a little baby at the other end, and the mom's waving from a phone booth. We're doing this now. Some of you are in Australia, Gold Coast, UK, I mean, United States, Canada. You're everywhere right now, and you'll see me probably everywhere after replayed. This is ridiculous how connected we are right now. I take that because we talk about, and I'll walk around it. I have a love-hate relationship with my cards. I say that because I've made them. The reason I say that is, and I'll keep saying that, and I'll give a good picture of one of them here, hopefully. So I have a tarot card, or what's considered a tarot card. This symbol, to me, is a way to connect that we naturally connect, just like our cell phone, just like this video call that we're doing. Now, there is a science involved in it, some of that science that we don't exactly understand right now, and some of us do. Some of us naturally know what that feels like. We can't describe how it works, just like I don't know how a cell phone exactly works. I can't make one, but I can use it. Same situation with connecting to someone, reading for someone. And I've said this before on a train. I think I've said it with a truck because I'm a truck driver, but being on a train, you're on a track, right? We're all riding on the same train. And that train has a specific path it's going to start from Iowa to my friends in New York, let's say, and it's going to travel so many miles and it's going to end in New York no matter what. That's the destination. That's what the ticket's for. But along the way, I can look behind and see where I've been, my past. I can feel the present where I'm at. And to so many extent, if I look out the window, I can see a few seconds to a few minutes ahead of the car, what's up that we're going to arrive to. If I stood up and I was bold enough and I got on top of the car, I could see a good couple miles out in the distance, which is many minutes before we get there. So I'm seeing what's really the future. But if, let's say, I was sitting inside that train and I had my cell phone and I can see what the weather is prior to New York. I don't know the geographic where we're going through. Let's say we're going through Pennsylvania, like my caller here, and we're going through there, and it's saying, "Oh, bad weather and tornadoes and what have you." So we'll know based on the technology again, many hours before we get there, but still a form of future prediction, right? But it's happening, but it's not technically happening. We deal with this daily. And I happen to go through, if you're a fan with anything to do with Back to the Future, any of that time travel stuff, Back to the Future, I love. Games that have to do with anything to do with time travel, the Time Machine, uh, Minority Report from Tom Cruise. This was a big one in 2002. This was a big one that had, I won't spoil it for you, but go see it. It's really good if you're into that. And somewhere in there in the very beginning, they're talking about how they're judging people for actions they haven't already done. And he even described by rolling a ball on the side and it was about to drop, and one of the gentlemen grabbed the ball before it dropped. And he questioned him and he says, "Why did you grab the ball?" He says, "Well, it was going to drop." He goes, "Well, that's in so many ways, it didn't have to drop. You don't know it was going to drop, did you?" He goes, "Yeah, it was going to drop." Well, so even knowing that, you still grabbed it, meaning you could have let it go or not, but we don't know based on that. But you were sure you knew the future of what was going based on the prediction of the travel that it was going down. There's also a little sneak peek in there, and I know Hollywood does this a lot, but it's still very clear. There's a lot of truth in our surrounding day-to-day life. A lot of it's hidden there. Those who know. There was a gentleman that mentioned there about why has murder come up in this, and I won't spoil the movie again, but why are they able to predict murder, that someone's going to do murder? And he had a quote there that says, "There's nothing more destructive to the metaphysical fabric that binds us than the untimely murder of one human being by another." Meaning, just like a cell phone needs a cell phone tower, just like we need the internet for our computers, just like we need the mail system. There's multiple technological connections that we have, networks, what they're called. People are also human antennas in this realm of how we're connecting with each other, how we're quantumly entangled, how we connect intuitively. Where here I'm going to talk to my caller, and how is it that somehow it turns out that there's a little bit of the future coming out, there's a little bit of the now coming out, and maybe even a little bit of the past, because we're temporarily quantum entangled or maybe spiritually entangled. You can put a label on it, whatever you want, but here we are, like mini antennas. So it's interesting that I go through that sometimes, and I like to share that because as I go on, I say, just like I need glasses, I don't have perfect vision. We all have eyes to a certain extent on average, but we don't have perfect vision. Some of us need glasses. We all have this way to connect to each other. Some of us may need glasses, such as cards or something of that sort. Some of us can naturally have perfect 20/20 vision in the realm of connecting to each other. So it's very interesting that I see more on the science level in our day-to-day lives how this is possible. And the funny thing is, this was all we were made to connect with each other back in the Stone Age. I don't care how far back you go. Go back into the days of that. This was something that we already knew. We were able to connect with each other. We knew that to survive this dinosaur, okay, here we go with science, whether we're here with dinosaurs or not. But let's say animals, to survive, how are we going to survive? The way is we were hyper focused on our surroundings and able to connect and communicate with each other. Even if we didn't have a language that we can understand, we were able to show emotion and empathy and ways to communicate on a higher level that we've lost because we've got the modern sciences here, right? The modern conveniences. Everything's pre-cooked for us. Everything is pre-done for us. We don't have to hunt and gather and such. So a little bit of that is dumbed down, but not all of it's lost. And I'll get off my soapbox and explain the rest of that later. James in Pittsburgh, sounds
Yeah,
familiar. Like maybe we've spoken before. Have we spoken before?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, nice to see you. Or nice to hear you. It's
Okay,
radio and
thank
it's
you.
television. It could be either or, whichever you want to pick. It's, how would you like
Uh,
to talk today? How would you like to connect today? Is there something specific you'd like to go over, or you riff on whatever you'd wish to?
yeah, I'm worried about my business and my home, mainly my business.
Okay, so I'm pulling this here to explain. You don't have to play at home, but I like that you play at home. A chariot reversed card means the gears are having a trouble grinding. They're having chariot means we're in a, especially in business, where we relate to each other. This gear moves this way, the other one moves that way. And as they move the opposite way, like partnerships or so, we still have a general forward movement. But being reversed is already telling me, yes, you're correct. There is definitely a grinding going on. There is a business issue here. Again, this being reversed, being the Six of Wands, the double-headed serpent, the heart of the matter here is saying that there's not an agreement or there's not a direction. When we deal with wands, it's energy. So it doesn't always have to be money. It means direction of thought or direction of energy. We feel like we need to put our energy into it this way. And if we connect on this, this is where we see our future planning going. I foresee we're going to sell widgets. We'll just say you sell widgets. And my partner or my company is not seeing eye to eye with me, or my financial backers are not seeing eye to eye the potential that I can do here. Specifically, I have a person here involved. This is the King of Wands, and this is the controller of the energy. That could be you. That might not be you. If there's a partnership, you don't have to answer a yes or no. But this person is the one that normally will, since they're in a kingship of wands in a positive way, they are more benevolent, meaning this is someone has to be the leader. I'll be chastised for this, but I was grown up in a household very feminist from my mom's side, whereas equal is equal, and you do half the work, I do half the work, and we make up the difference, and we are equal partnership. That is correct in so many ways. But in my current relationship that I have with my wife of 30 years, we know that there's things she's way better at than I am. And gosh darn it, I hope I don't burn the food, that I hope she does do that part. And there's other parts where I think I can bring home a decent amount of money, maybe that she's able to help the household better for our sanity, right? That sort. So there is a balance of who knows what, who is the king of that energy, who is the controller of that energy. So I'm going to ask you directly, there is a grinding of not sure about where your business is. And I'm going to ask you, have you felt in control of your direction of where that what is the, it's not the vision, I would say, or where, this is our motto, this is our vision, this is the direction. Have you felt at all in charge of that?
Uh, yes and no. More lately, it's been no. I had an ex-business partner, and he ran it into the ground, and I'm trying to recoup everything.
Yes.
So things have been
Yes.
really hard. I can't get ahead. So it makes sense with the gears grinding.
Right. The Emperor
I'm
card is the one I'm
stuck.
showing you
Yeah.
here. The Emperor card means it's time to take charge. And unfortunately, when the Emperor card, if you can tell, there's a yin and yang type of feel to it, a red. And the Emperor comes in our life, meaning there's times to be emotional. I understand my employees. I understand we need to pay them extra overtime. We need to coddle them, blah, blah, blah. And there's a time to say boundaries. We need to stay in this vision. Otherwise, we're going to be in the red. Otherwise, our bills don't get paid. Otherwise, we will be bankrupt, or we will be dissolute, right? Something of that sort. So this is definitely that time to not be emotional, to be very business savvy and go, what is the best thing for this business now? This is what happened with maybe the not seeing eye to eye, right? We had two hearts, the two heads of the serpent, one heart, and not sharing that vision. And that's the grinding going on. Someone took over. It wasn't an equal partnership so much. Now's the time to be very, very mathematical, very boundary, very, if I was an artist, it would be the opposite of the artist. It would be the person that says, like the guild master or somebody saying, it's time to move. Let's move on. This is what we have to do, which could include reorganizing, right? It could be chapter 7, chapter 13. It could also be in regards to, we need to find this vision that we lost. Why did I originally I heard it, you said it earlier, that, well, we were kind of this and kind of that. And that already told me that's the imbalance. But how do you get out of this right now? Go back to that vision. Why did you go into this business? Do you still have that same mentality? Or was that mentality or that feeling or that vision not yours originally? And if that's the case, maybe this is the time to go. It just didn't fill. If a business, the business I'm in, my business managers always tell me, they go, well, we're not in a business to lose money. I mean, as much as I'd love to own a restaurant, my wife keeps telling me I'd love to cook for people. And I go, I understand, but we'd be dead broke the first day because we have a big heart and we'd want to give out and, and that kind of thing. That's not how a business runs. And unfortunately, it's good that we do not become restaurateurs, if that's a word, if I didn't butcher it, but it's good that we do other things. So again, I would tell you, James, go back to that. Find out, is this originally my vision? If it's not, we may have to just decide I need to reopen a different way, let it go, change it completely, or maybe it got lost somewhere. Go back to that original reason why I wanted to be part of this. That will put you on the correct path to movement, which is the Knight of Wands, back into flying, back into movement, back into energy flow, which is exactly what you have been stagnant recently and what you definitely need. You need to get this, whatever this was. We sell widgets. Now we start selling, kabopity bops. No, we need widgets. Let's go back to what we know, what we wanted, and what we said we were going to do. Make sense?
Yes.
My work is done.
Yep.
This.
Well,
see, sometimes it's a little more simple. What's that?
No, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, because right now, like I said, with my business partner gone, I have my family helping me, and of course, being married for almost 27 years, the wife's helping me, and of course, we butt heads a lot. So she just can't understand that this is a business. This is not home. I'm trying to run a business.
Right.
We do.
It's totally different. It's totally different. It's nothing against her. Let her know, honey, I love you. But if you've ever seen people that work at the restaurant, you know how they end up working at the restaurant, and the restaurants have been for like 50 years and they're still open because one of them's there and one of them's home, and they vice versa. They're never there at the same time because they all have little different visions of it. They all have their own little thing, and they just stay in their lane to make this entity, this business itself, what's best for the business. It's not always your heart. It's not always, sometimes it works great, but a lot of times it's just cut and dry numbers, black and red. And this is what it is to succeed. And if it doesn't hold water any longer, then it makes sense. And maybe she's more insensitive. Well, maybe we get to change this completely. So it does. Maybe it's a different vision. But if we want to make money this way, this is the way. We have to be the emperor again. We have to get back and control this, literally, like if it was no emotion. That's how the business runs. Then once we get this moving again and we're in line with our gears, we will see, maybe we can put our heart a little bit more into it. But that's going to be the call now, because now that's different and families involved. They may not see that original vision any longer. They may say, I'm out. I don't want to do this. This is not my vision. This is your vision. And it was half your partner's vision. So we're not really into it anymore. But it will show itself. The good news is that you'll know by a shadow of a doubt, based on this, if you look at it logically, what to do next. Dissolve it, continue with it, reorganize it, whichever. There's a saying that they talked about, I saw on Facebook. It was interesting. If I could pull it up here, I was going to talk about it. It says, be open to learn, unlearn, and relearn. If you can remember that in business, you will continue on. But if you're stagnant and this is it, and you can't learn how to relearn something and change and pivot, then it's just not going to work.
Actually makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Nice to talk to you, James. You take care today.
It's nice talking to you. You too. Thank you.
Lori in St. Elmo, Illinois. Oh, I don't even know where St. Elmo, Illinois, and I grew up in Illinois all my life. Where is that?
It's kind of in between Vandalia and Effingham.
Yeah, I was in the 6 county Chicagoland area, so that sounds way further than what I'm used to. So you must be in the
Yeah.
greater area of the Illinois area, which is great because I grew up in there, and that's why I went to Iowa. I needed to see more of the country and see more land, and I was landlocked in there, and I couldn't handle anymore. So I'm glad to see a
Yeah.
fellow Illinoisan. Nice to see you. And what would you like to talk about? Is there something specific you'd like to ask?
No, just general.
Okay. I like that part because that leaves it open for whatever is going to come is going to come. So the Sun card to me feels, and it's a very revealing card. Not only is it a positive card, but it means being open, naked. You'll see babies usually frolicking. You'll see horses. There's a lot of different versions of this card. Mine is just the sunlight. Being out in the sun means being out and open with yourself, just letting everything be. That includes I'm going to let everybody see me in my weight. Maybe I'm a little bit 5 pounds overweight, but who cares? I'm happy with myself. It also means I'm a little particular with my grandkids, and I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what my daughters or sons say. I'm going to be this way with my grandkids. It's being that childlike innocence of saying, I enjoy being open and showing who I am. And in that token, I will pull the next, which is a major card, the world card. It's like a Buddha sitting down. And when we sit, it means I'm done. It means there's an end to this karmic movement or so. So this is telling me here for you, being open means that you might have been challenged maybe to the direction of being yourself more recently than later of, hey, Lori is this way. And I have either friends, family, or others telling me, your way is not the only way. And I'll tell you this way, you have a choice to be you. You have a choice to go in this direction and to have your perspective, just like anybody does. And family or friends or even enemies, they have a right also to. But in this specific feeling that I have that you're out in the sun, I would like you to be open to saying, I'm going to stand my ground and this is who I'm going to be. Love me or hate me, but I think I have the right to be here. Does that sound familiar for you?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
I will encourage you on that note. In the honeycomb, which is the 9 of Pentacles, it has to do with the beehive. When the beehive comes out of the honeycomb here, it means community. So it means there are worker bees, there are queen bees, there are drone bees. There's some that go out and protect the hive. There are some that go around and do the dance and show where all the pollen and such is, right? But they're still a community. They all contribute to what they need. So that means there is an important reason for you to be in others' lives. There's an important reason for you to have your perspective. And it may feel, or they may be feeling, making you feel, I won't say wrong. I'll just say that they're trying to put a shadow on your light. And there is a lot of reasons why we have people in our, I'm a very strong believer we have people in our life on purpose that are there to teach. Some are there to teach, some are there to challenge, some are there to help, some are there to love, and some are
Right.
there to hate. But it's purposely
I
there
agree.
for our life for reasons. And you are
Right.
specifically supposed to be there the way you are today. Making sense?
Okay. Yeah. So far, yeah.
Is okay. Okay. Is that branch off to something that you'd like to still look at, or you want to move from there? I'll leave this up here because this is telling me it's home.
No.
This is my little kid's card, and if I look at it, if I do it correctly, he drew the 10 of Cups like a home. And there's a little house here if I do it correctly, and a little sun. But when this comes up, it's the 10 of Cups. It means house and home. And it's being upside down means, when it's the way it came out, means the home is kind of upside down right now. So I'd say that community is touching more around you. It's specifically maybe the loved ones around you. Not necessarily challenging, but maybe a little bit of friction there.
Okay. I just moved out on my own. I'm by myself now.
There you go. That could also be there, that why there's no longer connected on that end as well. So here we'll go back again. Is that the new place that you're on your own? Are you finding challenges then specifically to maybe make new friends or to connect the way you had?
Right. I'm getting out there. I'm meeting people and getting out in public and, seeing what all's out there.
It's, if I'm assuming that you're at the retirement this may be a retirement community or something, or maybe just a different
Yes, I'm on
location?
disability.
Okay. So this is, again, think of it this way, just like you've had people around you, there is always someone. That might even be why this is sitting, the world, I'll be honest. But I think that's specifically just being standard who you are. Be yourself. Don't try to change and say, well, there is ways to make friends and speak with others, but there's also, you want to be real. If you're always telling the truth, you won't have to forget all the lies you've said and how to
Right.
change them. So if you introduce yourself as, hi, I'm Lori, I used to live here and now I live here, this is how I feel, love me or leave me, you will lose people, but you will gain a few that will know exactly who you are, and they'll love you for it. And they'll be like, now you are part of their life, of those who need to be around them to teach, to love, to hate, to be with. But you're going to be in their little surrounding beehive, right? So you're going to be part of their little
think I'll
world.
be on the same level.
Right, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much on the same level. So make sure that if you're struggling with that, don't feel discouraged. Be out there in the sun. I'm not going to say be naked, but that's the feel of it. Be innocent. Be, here I am. This is who I am. And you'll find out, if you don't have to make them 30 some odd years and keep them up to speed like your old friends. You got to give them just the best parts of you. Hey, I'm very generous. Let me show you. Hey, I'd love to help you with this. Hey, if you tell me we're going to go do something together, I promise my word is bond. I'll be there for you. That's the things that people are going to see right away. And that's going to help bring them in. Yes. I don't feel a negative at all. It just felt like there's to encourage you to be you, to stand out there, right? To be who you are. And again, I'm glad you're announcing yourself. That's a good way to do it. I'll pull something here too and see where this leads. So the journey, this would make sense. The Six of Swords reversed. It's showing there's going to be a little delay in how you connect. Communication is the swords. So there's a little distance of getting to that end result, a little delay of making those friendships. But I'm telling you, the ones that you make are going to be the ones. You only need, I think somebody said before, and you see this on social media, if you had 1 to 3 friends that are solid, that's what most people ever want. 1 or 2 really good friends, and they don't really care about the rest. They have people, they play bingo, they play cards, they go to things with, but they're not the ones they tell their secrets to, or they cry a shoulder on, or they ask for really like some deep conversations. That's 1 or 2 people. That's it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm happy to talk to you, Lori. You take care. I appreciate you coming tonight.
You do.
Time just flew. Yes. Time just flew today. Why not I promote myself? I'm at sototarot.com, just like my name, sototarot.com. You can't miss it. I'm also on Facebook as Soto Tarot 6, like the number, Soto Tarot 6. If you look around that way, or if you want to email me, drop me. I do a little free readings here and there as well as normal readings for a reasonable price as well. You can get me on sototarot.com, and you can always hear me and see me on A1R Psychic Radio, Ask One Radio, and Moonstruck TV. Have a fabulous Thursday. We will see you again in 7 nights. Take care.